Alright, so I was having this problem with the TR50, with the drum, what they call the drum axle spring, this part here, where it wouldn't always lock in and stay locked in. I don't think the spring was tight enough, something was too loose in here. So I ended up ordering a new drum axle, this pot here, and drum axle spring, which actually goes this way and goes inside the drum axle. And this gets mounted inside the gun this way. So, going to install the new one today that I purchased from rockstartactical.com. Decent price, $4.79 for the drum axle part and $2.79 for the spring. So neither one set me back too far. So this will be how I went about replacing it. First thing I want to do is take off the rubber grip here. Get that out of the way. Easier said than done. See if I can pull this thing down. Okay. All right, at last, get that off there. Going to take the magazine out, the drum magazine out. Make sure there's no CO2 in the gun. Get that out of the way. And it looks like I did have a unpunctured CO2 in the handle, so we got that out of the way. All right. And next step is we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 screws. All but one are the same length. The screw right here, the one over the mock cylinder here, that one is actually the longest screw, so you definitely want to be sure you put that aside and you don't mix it up with the other ones. It needs to get returned to the same spot. Two different ways you can do this. You can remove the screws, or I should say leave the screws in the clamshell, in the plastic shell here, and then carefully take it off, put it aside, or you can remove the screws with a magnet and carefully put them aside. You do not want to lose them. They're tiny, very difficult to find. Usually I'll just loosen them up, take them out with a magnet, which I will go ahead and do that now. Okay. The screwdriver bit that I use is a Phillips 1 bit. Very small. You're going to need a small set. Some people call them eyeglass screwdrivers. Small Phillips screwdriver. Again, this one here is a Phillips 1. I like to start with the long one first. We'll put that somewhere for safekeeping so it doesn't get mixed up. All right, There's that one. It's the one you don't want to get mixed up. Helps to have a magnet you can put it on. The rest are all going to be the same size. All right, I'll continue removing all those. Okay, pretty much all of them loosened up now. Once you have them all loosened up, let's grab a magnet, take them out, or you can lift this whole thing up with the screws in. I prefer to take them all out. This way lessens the chance that I'm going to mistakenly drop one. Magnet comes in handy. There are 15 screws. One, oh, that's a little bit. One's longer than the rest. This one here is your long one. All right, I think I got them all. Okay. From here, what I like to do is start at the handle and just open it up a little bit like this. I've had this one on and off a couple times, so it's pretty easy. Piece of plastic so you don't mar the shell here. Or a screwdriver would work as well. And it should come off without too much trouble. One thing I always forget to do is the fiber optic here. Just you can take that out. The rear sight, the front sight stays on one side. The fiber optic, if you want to take that out first, and then you can put that back in. Put this off to the side. Now, the inner case here that holds the valve and the bolt and bolt spring and all that assembly, it's inside here, so there's nothing else that's going to spring out on you. What I need to do is get to this drum axle, what they call the drum axle, and the drum axle spring. There are a couple plastic dowels here kind of holding this in. If you rock it back and forth a little bit, and you can get this out enough. So get the barrel out of the way. The barrel and barrel spring. And let me grab a pick. What did I do with that pick? There we go. Get the spring out first would be easier. Okay. So there's the drum axle spring. And here is the drum axle that I'll be replacing. Okay. There's a new drum axle spring and drum axle. That's what I'm going to be replacing. All right. So we grab our new parts. the new drum axle spring. The spring goes in this end, so he's just going to put this in right there. Put the spring in a minute here. Try to get the barrel started. And then let this sit back down into the dowels. All right. Now, important part here, if you can see, is the barrel spring. There are two pieces of plastic here, kind of keepers or plastic stops. The spring, you need to make sure that spring is sitting up against there so your barrel will be able to move in and out freely. Okay? That's the only thing that keeps that barrel up against the drum magazine so that it makes a good seal. But it has to move in order to advance to the drum magazine. So you want to be sure you got that spring in there properly. Which it's not too difficult to do it anyways. All right, then you want to put your drum spring in. Make sure that's all down, seated. With a pick can help in getting the spring in there. And then just make sure it works like this. Make sure that the actual drum axle is moving freely. Make sure your barrel, I don't know if you can see that. Make sure the barrel is moving freely as well. And that's all there is to that. Put the old parts aside. And that's it. So now you're going to reassemble it. Put the other half of the clamshell back on. Sure it's lined up right. Yeah. Okay. Looks good. What I like to do is I like to start with the longest screw first, that the rest are all the same length. This longer one, as you can see here, you got a longer screw. There's one of those. The other 14 screws are same. This goes right in here. You want to make sure that that one is placed right above the mock cylinder. Just snug them down a little bit. Start putting them all in, snug them down, and then once they're all in, you can go through and just do the final tightening down, which I'll go ahead and do now, and I'll be right back. All right. Once you've done all your final tightening down of the 15 screws, and you have reinstalled the rear fiber optic sight here, then you're pretty much good to go. All right, let's try this out. So, okay, so the replacement drum axle and spring, not sure which was bad. I think it might have actually been the spring tension wasn't right. It seems to be operating properly now. The problem I had before was it wouldn't always stay in the locked out position, so it would come springing back all the time. But probably was the spring, but I ended up replacing both parts. Yeah, everything seems to work good now. And that's pretty much it. In my case, I'll put my red rubber grip back on the handle. And time to try her out. That is the Umarex TR50. Hopefully this is of some help to somebody, and thank you for watching.